Real, just I kind of had just said something to make myself laugh right before this. I apologize. It's probably weird that the first thing that you're seeing when you log in and you see, you know, this live stream is me laughing, and I apologize. But hey, everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. We are doing a live stream today because we weren't able to make it to the last live stream that we normally do. We do one every month, but I did not do one for December. So sorry, the way that I said that was really bad. But but if you are showing up, go ahead and hit the like button. When you hit that like button, it makes it so that other people get that alert really fast. So definitely, I already see people showing up. So hello, everybody who is showing up. Today we're actually going to be doing something. It's been a while since I've done one, but I've had the Ask Prince's Friend a Question link up in pretty much almost every video. There's a link that you can go to the Google form and you can fill it out and everything. So I decided I'm going to go through and actually answer some of the questions that we've been getting here for a while, and also I have other things to talk about as well. So that's the main thing that I'm doing here. Also, this is technically the first video of 2020. So I'm already seeing people saying, yes, I agree with you. Happy New Year. And I hope that you are all having a Happy New Year so far. I know that I am. My New Year's pretty good so far. So yeah, so happy 2020. I love all you guys. So it's going to be pretty cool. I do have a list of questions that I'm going to hit, but I also want you guys can throw any questions that you have over into the chat, and I will get to those when I'm done with the ones that have been probably sitting there for a while. Although, you know what? On the first, I think we had like 12 questions just come in right on the first of the new year, which I don't know why, because there was maybe one or two every month the month before that, but bam, it's the new year, I have questions. So really, really fun though. I always enjoy jumping on and doing these live streams. So obviously the first thing is I was very happy with the last video that I did, which was the going through all the numbers and everything for 2019. You guys really kind of made that happen. That's the greatest thing about what I do here, is that it is all, it's mostly dependent upon you guys. I'm here, I could put up as many videos as I want, but if you guys don't dig it, then it becomes less worth it for me. But I always love that you guys have my back, and we're here to do this. Also, I want to point out that we've only been on for a few minutes, and I already have one downvote. So see, there's somebody who just saw that I was on. It was I hate that guy, I'm gonna hit him a down now. I find it funny anyway. So the first thing, before I jump into the questions, today I launched YouTube memberships. So I did want to go ahead and talk about that a little bit, because I did mention it in the last video that I was thinking about doing it, and that I was thinking about doing that, and I went ahead and launched it live. So the reason why I now have the YouTube memberships, and if you see, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you see the join button underneath. That is how you become a member on YouTube. So there's that, right? It's pretty much just like the Patreon thing that I've been talking about for a while, but YouTube just rolled out these memberships for us smaller channels. You used to have 100,000 subscribers to get YouTube memberships, but now they make it, I think you have to have 20. So now, hey, I have the ability to do YouTube memberships now. And it is pretty much the same thing as Patreon. You give a little bit every month, and you have access to, exclusive videos, and, you can ask questions, you can suggest videos, all that stuff. So you get all of that stuff. It's fun. So I did have a few people, and the reason why I did it is because I did have a few people who said that they went to the Patreon and didn't like the interface and didn't like the way that it all worked. So if that doesn't work for you, then maybe YouTube memberships is more for you, because, you know, it's more integrated. It's like it's native here. And hopefully it'll have more features and whatnot. I think the coolest feature that it does have is it allows you to, the longer you are a member on YouTube, you get like a little icon next to your name, and it'll change color. Mine, every channel gets to pick theirs, but mine are like little gems, which I thought was pretty cool. And you can work your way up to the purple gem. So yeah. Anyway, if that's something that you're interested in, you can hit the join button. It, like I said, it's below the video. Otherwise, I am going to hit some of these questions, but again, go ahead and put your questions into the chat. I'm pointing over here, but your chat's over there somewhere. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what's going on here. All right. So the first question I have here is, what's your favorite vault track off of the 1999 reissue? Good question. The first thing that comes to mind is Purple Music. I really, really like Purple Music. I've heard the version that is on, you know, my bootleg version. I've heard that one several times, but it just never, like, it was always really good and it was funky, but until the remaster, I think the remaster kind of unlocked how good that song is. So really, really excited about that song specifically. If I had to pick like a second one, it might be International Lover Take One. Is it Take One or Take Two? The other version of International Lover, which I really, really loved. And I went through all of that in my review. So if you missed my review, you definitely want to check out the review. It's 4 videos long, 5 if you count the unboxing. And I had a ball. I had a ball with that review. So it was really, really good. I think that would probably be my favorite vault track from there. So yeah, there you go. Let's see. Why do all the articles say that the concentration of fentanyl in Prince's blood was 67.8 micrograms per liter, and you say milligrams in your video? There's a huge difference. There is. And micrograms is usually how it is distributed. The article that I was referencing in the video that I made said milligrams. So if that article was wrong and it was supposed to be micrograms, then cool, but I was reading what they said, and they didn't even have it like as, you know, MCG or MG. I wasn't like deciphering what they wrote wrong. They said milligrams in that article. So if it's actually micrograms, then the people that I was listening to was wrong. So that sucks. I'm trying to reference like reputable people here. Also, I did that video, I don't know, a year and a half ago. So, but I remember that one, that I was like, wow, that's a lot. And my mom is actually a nurse. So I even talked to my mom about it. She was like, that's normally given in micrograms. And I'm like, well then, wow, milligrams, that's a whole lot then. You know, because I was just taking the article as gospel. So there you go. That's just me. All right. So it says that there's the answer to that question. The third question, what age was Prince when he released his first album? Longtime Prince fan here. Just have heard a lot of different answers. Thank you for your time. So yeah, that's a really good question, actually. So a lot of people say that he was 18 when he released his first album. But, you know, if we look at the math here, so he was born in 58 and he released his first album in 78, if I recall, right? Prince was born, I should probably like have his birthday like memorized, but I don't. Yeah, so he was born in June 1958, and For You was released, when was it released? April 1978. So he technically was 19. So like by a month, he should have been 20. But that's actually part of it. I actually even talked about that a little bit in my, but see that, but he wasn't 18, CBG. The thing about it is that all the marketing was that he was a young prodigy. So saying that he was, 20, that would have sold fewer albums. So he actually was 19, and 2 months later would have been 20. Technically, when that first album was released, and that is the interesting thing about marketing. And back in the day, you couldn't just clickety clack on the computer and be like, "When was his birth? Oh yeah, there you go, it was 20." But and everybody's saying like, "It's probably 20, it's probably 19." But yeah, but that's not what the articles and all of the reviews and the way that it was marketed and everything. I think they were marketing him as like 17, 18. So they were selling him as younger than he actually was. So good on them. It caused a stir, especially when he was singing such provocative lyrics. It was just like, wait a minute, what? Why is this young kid like singing this stuff? Anyway, I really, really like that question. That's a fun question. Let's see. Where did you get your Prince shirt? All right, and this happens all the time. The Prince shirts, the Prince shirts are different. I have some that I've made. I have some that I buy, and then I have some that others give to me. But I do make some of them myself. The ones that say Prince's friend, obviously, I create those myself. The Batman one is a Batman one, but like I have a Justice for Cuz one. I do wear my Moody Man shirt. Sometimes those are ones that were given to me. I have a Wally shirt that I got from Wally Safford. So there's definitely some shirts that I have that were given to me or that I purchased that are great. But I did buy, I do design a few myself. I actually have a new one that I designed coming. It's in mail, but it's not here yet. So you'll see me in that video, in that shirt in a video pretty soon here. I'm excited about that one because it's an idea that I've had for a while for a shirt that it didn't really, I wasn't able to get the idea down like in my brain until like I saw something. I was like, oh, that's perfect. I got it. Bam. And then I created the t-shirt and then I sent it off to get printed. So I'm waiting for it to come. So there you go. Yeah, but I do get my shirts from different places, and I am working on getting shirts to be more readily available. If you look underneath my videos right now, I can't even talk. I did put a shirt up. I took the me as a cartoon design from the Emancipation from the Emancipation review, and I put that on a t-shirt because I thought that artwork was really, really cool. So now you can get a t-shirt or a poster with that piece of art on it with me going, because I really, really liked that piece of art. And you should see that shirt. It should be underneath this video. And like the join button's there, the t-shirts are there. I think you can get stickers too. There's stuff like that. But I'm working on figuring out if I can make other things work. There was a while there where they were like, if the word Prince is in your thing, then you can't like sell it on here because of copyright and all that stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm not even gonna fight with you guys on that one. So anyway, have you ever interviewed Ida Nielsen? Well, I'm gonna say no, I haven't. It would be weird had I like interviewed her and then like kept it just for myself and like no one got to see it. That would be really weird. But no, I did not. I did not interview her yet. It would be nice if I could. There's a few that I'm hoping to get soon. I'm working on a couple of interviews. One is I'm still working on getting an interview with Maite. That's still like my white whale. It would be really cool to get an interview with her, but it seems like we just keep running in different circles. We seem to not be able to connect, but it'll happen eventually. A friend of mine actually went ahead and contacted her through a website called Cameo. And I actually got a like personal message from Maite, and she sent me a message and told me that she's working on starting a podcast of some sort, excuse me, and that that she is starting a podcast of some sort. And then since I have my show, maybe we'll swap shows. But that was just a one-way message. Like I still have no way to really follow up on that and contact her. But it was really cool that she was just like, hey, I've seen your stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool that you do that. And you know, and you know, if it was a two-way communication, I'd be like, but we've met in person and you're amazing. But anyway, that's just me. There you go. Let's see. Can you explain the estate fighting against Taika selling a portion of her estate? Yes, I can. So I did do a video about her, and she was selling a portion of her portion of the estate. So that was part of it, and that was like the main thing. She needed it to pay off like legal bills and whatnot. So the next day after I posted that video, and my video was like 2 weeks late, like on that news, and then like a day or two after I posted that, then there was more news, and that's that the estate was pushing against not her selling her portion. They're like, fine, you can sell the portion or whatever, but part of the declaration that Taika put in was that she was selling it to Primary Wave. And the thing is that she put into her declaration that she wanted Primary Wave to basically have a seat at the table. That's what the estate is pushing against. They're like, look, we already have the heirs that we have to deal with. We don't now need someone else to come in, and we have to now deal with them too. So that's what they're pushing against. They don't care if she sells it. Like, they really don't. But they don't want somebody else coming in and needing to now have a voice in what's going on. And I get their side of it. I also think that the idea of Primary Wave having a say in it is a good idea, again, because they know how to do this stuff. That's just my own personal thought, but there you go. So that kind of elaborates on that a little bit more. And we haven't heard anything definitive on that, just that she did her declaration, the estate pushed back against it, but I haven't heard that there's a final verdict yet. So we'll have to see what happens with that. And I apologize. I just realized looking at this, my hair is janked up. I do have a question here. Are you really Prince's friend, or is that just the name you go by? Yeah. I don't even know if should I even waste our time here answering that one again? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll answer it again another time. No, I never knew Prince. I know a lot of people who know Prince now, but I never met Prince before. That in the 90s, Prince stopped using the term fan, started calling all of his fans friends instead. Bam, there you go. So I will just leave that there. I'm not gonna do too much about that. What are your favorite songs from Batman? Is the next question. And it's weird because like I've done my Batman review, and I even did the full discussion with Chris Lacey on Batman. I did do what my favorite song is. I believe I said it's Lemon Crush. It would be weird if I didn't say that it was Lemon Crush. So Lemon Crush, yeah, it's a great song that doesn't get nearly as much respect as it should. That's just my opinion. That is just my opinion. All right, let's see. That looks like that's most of the questions there. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close those questions out, and I'm going to go scroll back through, and then I'm going to start hitting up your guys' questions, and maybe it'll let me. I think I'm going to have to log into the YouTube on a separate channel thing over here and click this, and now I should be able to get to the chat here. And yeah, okay, cool. So now I can get to the chat. Wonderful. Oh, no, okay, that's why. It's just saying top chat. I need the live chat. Yeah. All right, cool. So it's not letting me go back all the way. So if you did type a question earlier in the thing, apparently you're going to have to type in it again, because I did not realize that it doesn't keep that there. So I'm starting here with, let's see. let's see. I'm trying to find it. It sounds like there was a "Who's better, Prince or Michael Jackson?" question posed to the group. So I'm seeing a lot of responses to that. Obviously, I have my choice. I would say Prince is better. I have a whole channel dedicated to it. But Michael Jackson's good too. I mean, I don't think that there's really a reason to have to choose one. Listen to both. That's what I do. All right, let's see. Um, what makes you prefer Prince over Michael? You know, it's weird. I always liked the hmm, there was just a voice. There was always more rock to what Prince did. I've always been like a rock kid. I know a lot of people get into Prince because he's funky, but I really liked him because he mixed the funk in with his rock. That was actually a big thing that I liked about Prince. Um, so yeah, so that's me. But I would also say, yeah, just his musicianship, the rate at which I could access music from him, because that was. I've said this before, but I fell out with anybody who like just would release an album every 5 years and milk it for singles for 4 of those. It's just like you can't release track 7 as a single 3 years after the album's out because I already bought the album when it first came out. Like I bought the album, absorbed it. Where's the new music? And it's greedy. It's greedy of me as a music fan for me to be like, where's the next thing now? I know you just released the last thing. Where's the new thing? But Prince did that to me. Prince made me that way because now I expect that out of everybody and I don't get that out of everybody. So there you go. Let's see here. Do you ever think that we will hear all of Prince's vault, or do you think there's something that we'll never even have a small bit of? Well, that's the interesting idea. This is it's just Vincy. The interesting thing about that question specifically is I don't think that we necessarily need to hear everything in Prince's vault. Prince's vault was filled with a lot of amazing songs, but also a lot of incomplete ideas. And you can already kind of hear that a little bit in some of the tracks that they have released at this point, where you're like, this, like Velvet Kitty Cat is an example in my brain of a song that Prince probably wrote it and did it so that he could get that name, that that the idea and that song out of his head. So like, okay, cool. But it's not like my best song. I'm never gonna put this on an album. I'm just gonna shove this in the vault. But like, I needed it out of my head, And there's probably a lot more like that. Would be my guess. There's probably a ton more songs just like that. So I would say I want to hear the really good stuff. And I plan on doing another video about like what stuff do we plan on hearing? What do we think we're going to hear? So I do plan on doing a whole video about that because I noticed Carrie just said you could do a whole video addressing that. Yeah, you can. And I'm planning on doing one because that is a larger discussion. I don't think that we're going to hear everything. I probably won't hear everything because I'll be dead. But maybe my child will hear everything. We'll have to see. Are you excited to hear who's playing Paisley Park at Celebration this year? Good question, Christy. Of course I am. They didn't announce that last year until February. So what, 2 months before the event? So I guess probably we're expecting that probably in April to know who is going to be performing, or maybe they'll keep with the February and see what happens. I did email Paisley Park and Celebration with my information to see, hey, just saying, if you need me to be there as a press person, I'm already going to go. I'm already going to like film every day. I'm already going to do all that stuff. But if you guys want to help me out and make it easier, come on. come on, Estate. I love you. Let's do it. So let's see. I don't know. It's hiding some of your guys' stuff. Am I the only one who wants to hear the Vanity 6 version of Sex Shooter remastered? I don't think you're the only one. I think a lot of the side bands and stuff that Prince had, the proteges and whatnot, I think it would be cool to have some of those. I think it would be cool to have some of that music remastered and whatnot. The problem is who ends up owning that stuff, and I'm pretty sure like Prince got back his stuff, but like the deals and stuff that have been being made are for stuff that has the name Prince on it and not Vanity 6 and The Time and all that stuff. So it's like it's hard to imagine that those things are going to get remastered or re-released anytime soon. Like that's also a reason why the MPG albums aren't like in wide production and all that stuff, because I know that when they did the Prince deal, a lot of people are like, well, where's New Power Soul? Where's Exodus? Where are these things? Well, those weren't Prince albums because the deals were signed for Prince albums. So it's a weird thing. It's like legal stuff, right? The same kind of legal stuff that Prince was fighting against when he changed his name, and he did that on purpose where he didn't put Prince on everything. But of course, now we're looking at a situation where not having Prince on certain things that he did create means it's not part of the deals that are being made now to re-release his stuff. So there you go. Wow, that is just, I just rambled like a ton there. I apologize. I realized like, wow, I just rambled a lot. Man, it's so, I'm trying to figure out where I'm at on this list because it is just going through. All right, so I'm gonna go over here. So there was the whole video. All right. Hi, friend. Any forward motion on the Maite interview? I did just mention that, so I'm gonna skip that video. But thank you so much for that, Voltron. Let's see. Prince was more forbidden. What albums are they going to release next? I'm going to do a video talking about that. Do you like The Most Beautiful Girl in the World? Of course. It's a great song. MJ is the better dancer, actor, showman. Prince better instrumentalist and singer. I don't know. I don't think so. I think comparing them both as showmen is a little bit difficult. Because I think MJ, was technically the better dancer, but only because he choreographed his dances, whereas Prince just followed the music and where it took him. Instrumentalist, obviously Prince would win that. Actor, I think Prince really is an amazing actor. MJ didn't very much act. Like I remember I even gave that point to Michael in the Prince versus Michael, but like thinking back on it now, like no, Prince should have totally gotten that. And singing is, I almost would give singing to Michael. Like his tone is just amazing. So I would maybe switch a couple of those, but showmanship is different because I don't even think that Michael Jackson was a better showman than Prince. I think that Michael Jackson just had a ton more, hype and build up because he had been a star since he was a child, and like it was like just a much bigger deal, but not necessarily better in my opinion. So there you go. Let me see. PF, what's the purpose of Prince's naked photo shoot for Little Red Corvette with his butt crack hanging out? I know it's from Alan B, but still, what's the purpose of anything? That would be my answer. What's the purpose? He was trying to be sexy and a whole bunch of people ate it up. So that's why he showed his butt. And that's why it was on the inside cover, because you can't have that on the actual album. But yeah, people ate that shit up. Just saying. Let me see. We're not going to get a lot of songs from the vault thanks to Michael Howe. I think we're getting a good number. I don't know how many more you would want at this point, but we're getting a good amount of music so far, and we'll get more, and we'll get more, and we'll get more. We're gonna get more. Calm down, everybody. It'll be fine. I want to hear the work with Miles Davis. Me too, actually. According to Prince, he did a whole lot of stuff that they recorded with Miles Davis, but it could never get released because record labels. What is your take on the rivalry between Prince and Rick James? I saw Morris spoke on thinking Rick was threatened by Prince when he hit the scene. That's what I've gotten from everything that I've heard. I wasn't like there at the time, obviously. I was a small child when this feud was roiling. But I mean, I would say, they obviously had some sort of rivalry, but on the whole, it was, just kind of, it was them. It was between them. It's hard to say like what I think of it, because I think that it propelled Prince in a certain way, but after a certain point, it was no longer relevant to Prince. Like there's no way that like in 2009 when he was releasing stuff, like there's no way that he was still thinking about Rick James. Like, I mean, thinking about him like in his heart and whatnot, but like, oh, I'm so glad I beat that guy. Like, no. Carrie, I saw your question. Thank you for the question. You said, are you planning on doing another party at Celebration? The party that we did last year was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work to organize, and we didn't have quite the turnout that I think we were hoping for. So at this point, I'm not expecting to do another party. I may end up doing maybe a small, meet and greet or something to that effect. So we'll have to see where we end up with that, but I think large party, probably not. So there you go. Let's see. Velvet Kitty Cat, Voltron was released on 1999 Deluxe, just so you know. All right. What's the concert you would like to see? For me, it would be Act 1 or 2 concert. I really always wanted to see Musicology. That would be a really, really great. Can you do a top 10 funniest lyrics? Actually, that's on my list. I'm working on that for 2020. For funniest lyric or funniest song. I'm working on that. It should be good. Let's see. This is like really, like it's all jumping around and cutting you guys off. So I'm trying to hit all the questions if I can here. Oh my gosh. Why is it so difficult? Let's see here. Okay. Let's see. I love the videos you do that decipher the album covers. Cool. I think I've only done that twice now at this point. Well, I mean, I did one, and the conversation that I had with Chris Lacey, he did one. I do plan on doing more because there's some interesting stuff on the Prince album covers. So let's see. Oh, that was your question. Good job. It's just Vinci. See, I answer stuff. It's not just going into the void there. It's okay. Please tell us the next releases of the albums. As soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. But I have some guesses, but I'm going to do a separate video for that because there's so much more to go into. Let's see. Got to roll. See you, JP. See ya. Let's see. I always wanted Prince to play Dracula in a movie. I think that would have been awesome, actually. That was from, yeah, I think that would have been great. That was from Ayo Joe. Yeah, I think that would have been great. I think Prince would have also like played it really like he would have hammed it up. I think it would have been good. Let's see. Did y'all see the new Morse Day interview? There's a lot of different interviews. And recently on my Twitter, I posted and I said, if I ever got the chance to interview somebody amazing like Sheila E. or Morris Day, I would ask them a whole lot more questions about themselves. Because even like the biggest Morris interview right now is the one on Vlad TV. And even the questions that are about Morris are also about Prince. Like very, very few of those questions during that interview were about Morris. Or about Morris's career or Morris's music. It was all about Prince. And that's a little annoying to me as somebody who really, I try really hard to get interviews. And when I do, I'm not there to waste that person's time. Why would you have somebody in front of you that you don't ask? Like, if you interviewed me and you didn't ask me any questions about me in my interview, I'd be offended, to be quite honest. um, that's just my opinion on it. But I mean, you have to do that. You have to ask them more questions about them. That's just my thought. Let's see. These contracts are insane. I agree. Let me see. I'm looking forward to your next wordplay on songs. I have some of those as well. The next wordplay that I'm working on right now is the one for Exodus. The Exodus has begun. That song, which is off of the APG album Exodus. That one's gonna be a fun one because that one had a lot of like really like deep lyrics in that, and it's one of those songs that doesn't get a whole lot of play from people. So I think it'll be fun to go over that one. And then I'll likely go back and then do like another one that's a bigger hit. But, I've done Seven and I've done Purple Rain. I think those two are sufficiently big hits that now I can kind of do a deep cut for the third one. And then I'll jump back and do a more popular one later on. We'll see what happens. But, I'm always doing stuff. Let me see. Better songwriter is definitely Prince. Don't at me. um, I mean, I think so, but I think it's also. I mean, if you take, I guess this is just going to be a Prince versus Michael Jackson like video. I don't know why, but if you take like Prince's best song and you compare it to Michael's best song, it's kind of hard to say. I think they might be on par in terms of the actual songwriting. Like composition and whatnot is different, but songwriting, I think they were both pretty talented with like their lyrical content and melodies and whatnot. But if you took Michael's worst song and compared it to Prince's worst song, I think even Prince's worst song is probably better. So that's just my thought. And don't ask me what is the worst song from anybody. I don't think that there is a thing. But I think it's more like there's just like yes, like if you compare them at their tippy top of their game, they're probably equal in that. So do you think that the music industry owes a nod to Prince for predicting the rise of music being on the internet, as well as being the first to bundle his albums with ticket sales for his concerts? That's another question for Ricky Diamond. You're asking some good questions here during this live stream, sir. Ricky, I'm assuming it's sir. If it's not, sir or madam. Yeah. No. Yes and no. I think that it would be nice if he got recognized for his ingenuity and whatnot, but I also don't think that he was doing the internet sales because he was trying to pave the way for everyone else. I think he was trying to skirt the system, and by skirting the system, everybody's like, hey, look at that guy over there. He's skirting the system. Why don't we go do that too? So I think it was it was definitely less like he was leading the way, and it was more like he was just doing something new and bold, and everyone else kind of followed what he was doing. And then it created this whole big shift. But I don't know. I don't think that it was purposeful on his part. But that's just pure speculation. But I doubt it was like purposeful on his part to do it for anybody besides himself and the people that he was associated with. But as soon as he recognized that it was a thing, he capitalized on that. And I think the fact that he was kind of the first one to do it is really awesome. Like no one else can say that. It's really great. Will there be more reissues? Yes. There you go. See, I'm on top of this. That was an easy one. Can you do a top Prince interviews? That's a good idea. I mean, but like what criteria would make one interview better than another? That's an interesting one. I'll have to think about that. Let's see here. Have you seen the Prince comic books? Yes, I have, Derek. I've seen the Prince comic books. I actually have them I have them here, and my goal is to get them reviewed this year. It should be nice because I got them early last year, but then Celebration happened and I had no brain space for anything. But I do plan on doing reviews for the Prince comics this year because there was only like 2 or 3, and I have them. So there you go. The interview with Morris on Wendy Williams was cringe. I kind of agree with that. I did not enjoy that interview. Well, and I think it's because there's a certain type of interviewer who talks over their guest a lot, and that seems to be what Wendy Williams does. Yeah, I didn't really like it. So yeah, there you go. Let me see. Why do you think Prince wrote under another name, Christopher Tracy, Star Company? Do you think it was so that it wouldn't be to get just get population because he wrote it? Or popular, I guess is what you were trying to say. It came out as population. Don't you love autocorrect? He wrote under different pseudonyms because Prince was a brand. That's essentially it. He wrote under different pseudonyms because he was Prince, and if he wanted to get this other music out, he had to put some other name on it. He also, I think also he kind of always wanted the music to be judged for its own merit and not because he wrote it. Because as soon as people hear, oh, Prince wrote that, then, then they go, oh, well, then it must be amazing. And it's just like, well, it doesn't have to be amazing just because Prince wrote it. So like, I never knew Manic Monday was written by Prince until years after it was a giant hit. So that's really awesome to now look back and be like, man, he wrote so many songs and they were all amazing. But then you run into issues like Sinead O'Connor, who did Nothing Compares to You, and everybody just looks at her and goes, you just owe your whole career to Prince. And it's just like, yeah, but that's because you knew that song was from Prince for the longest time, especially when it was written. You know what I mean? So it's just blech. It's just blech. Anyway, so have any of your videos ever been struck for using Prince material? Yes. Just had one the other day get struck down, but it was an older one where I was definitely breaking more rules in the beginning. Nowadays, I don't necessarily get that many claims or strikes or anything. So yeah, there you go. Chef Carter, I actually have something to say about what you just said to Emily Rose, where you said, MJ named one of his children Prince, so what does that tell you? Funny that you should say that, because I looked into that recently, and Prince is actually, I think it's Michael Jackson's grandfather's name. So it's actually a family name. It had nothing to do with Prince. It also had nothing to do with Michael Jackson, or it had nothing to do with King of Pop. It wasn't like I'm the king and you're the prince. Apparently, Prince, and this is something that I heard, if somebody wants to wiki it or whatever, but my wife looked it up, and apparently Prince was, I think, his grandfather's name. It is a family name in his family. So there you go. I don't think that him naming his kid Prince had anything to do with Prince. So there you go. When are you going to interview Jerome Benton? The moment Jerome calls, I will do that. I will do that interview. I have zero way of getting in touch with him. There are a few interviews that the Purple Politicians, that channel has gotten a couple of interviews that I would have loved to have gotten. I would have loved to have ended because they did Jerome. They got to interview Princess, which is Maya Rudolph's Prince cover band. Oh my gosh, Maya Rudolph. I would love to interview Maya Rudolph or Fred Armisen. Fred Armisen just got interviewed by the Purple Current. So it's like so many of these people that I would have loved to have interviewed. I'm just enjoying other people interviewing them at this point. So I ain't going to be picky. I'll take their stories and whatnot any way that I can. Let's see. Prince was named Guitar Player of the Year in Guitarist Magazine. Which year? Like this year? That would be weird. Your thoughts on Rainbow Children? I'm a jazz junkie, so I loved it. Thanks for what you do. Thank you, Sleep Fan. I was actually just listening to Rainbow Children an hour ago in the car when I was driving home from dropping my son off somewhere. So Rainbow Children is one of my all-time favorite Prince albums. I can't wait to get to it in my reviews because, oh my gosh, I can't wait to just gush over that one. Let's see. JP, I didn't mean to turn this into a Prince versus MJ. It's okay. It's fine. Have any of your views ever been copywritten for strike using Prince music? I would like to rank them. So yes. I think I just answered that one a little bit, but yes, I have gotten strikes before. It was a lot when I was using, and they were a lot more heavy-handed with strikes. Right after Prince died, they were like strike, strike, strike. Nowadays, you'll get a claim, and it's just like, hey, don't do that, but we're not going to like smack you. But because there is a difference between a claim and a strike. So a claim can just block it, or a claim can be like, you can't make any money. They're going to make all the money. Which I'm usually fine with. Like my Gold Experience album review, I don't make any money off of that one. All that goes to Warner Brothers, I guess. So I think I used one clip that was just a slightly too long. So anyway, yes, I have gotten it. And that's part of the thing, the way that this like whole like channel got started is I started posting a bunch of stuff that should totally get this entire channel banned, and I lost the channel for a little bit, and then I contacted the right people, had those strikes removed, and promised never to do it again, and that's why I don't do that. So there's a whole lot of people like, you should totally post this concert, and I'm like, I ain't doing that. You do that and get your channel taken away, because I ain't gonna do it. I've spent too long building this thing up now at this point. Oh man. So let's see. Crystal Ball on purple vinyls. Ooh. I mean, so few people purchased the Emancipation on vinyl. I know that there were a whole lot of people who purchased all the others, but then Emancipation was like, it's too expensive. It's too many records. So releasing Crystal Ball in that way would be kind of like the same thing. So I think probably the estate is maybe holding off on doing that. They're probably like, I don't know if I want to do that right now, because it's going to end up being, we're going to print a whole bunch, and then it's not going to sell as well as like the single records that they can get. So anyway, let's see. One of the most interesting live streams I have ever been on. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. October 19th, 20 Beyond. It's an interesting, that's an interesting name. Let's see. How will Warner Brothers wanted to control Prince. Warner Brothers did want to control Prince, and then they found out that they couldn't. Actually, we did a video about that. Me and Chris, we had that discussion. There's no reason to hate on Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is a company, and they were trying to make money. Prince was like, but you can't control me. And they said, yes, we can. And he said, screw you. And then there you go. Like there you go. And then they learned, and then they made up, and then everybody was happy. So it was great. So let's see. Why do you think Batman is so undervalued? Go watch my conversation with Chris Lacey, because you can go, it's like a 40-minute conversation about why is it so underrated? Why doesn't it have a bigger impact in Prince's, legacy? That is a really good one though, but definitely, Christy, I would say go watch that, because we make a lot of really good points that I don't want to undermine by possibly quoting them incorrectly here. So let's see. Why was Prince so sexual? He was sexual. We're all sexual beings. Just some of us accept it more than others. There you go. That's the answer to your question, Emily. Ain't nothing wrong with sex. That's actually something that I learned from Prince, because growing up, so many people said that like sex was wrong and it was dirty and there was something wrong with it. And I learned from Prince that is definitely not the case. So yeah, sex is sex. Sex is good. Just saying. Let's see. Michael Jackson's maternal grandfather's name was Prince Albert Screws. Thank you. I was pretty sure that I was right on that one. And that's why I was saying, like, so naming his son Prince had nothing to do. Prince Albert Screws. Now, Screws that's a bad last name. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know at what point it turned into Jackson. I would rather be Jackson. Just saying. For the person that it just went by and I lost it, but Zapp and Roger, I actually just posted my review that I did for the Zapp and Roger Greatest Hits. I posted that to my Twitter today. Go check that out for the person who wrote Who is Zapp and Roger. Go check out Zapp and Roger. I hadn't actually listened to any Zapp and Roger before last year when I did that review. So thank you, Chef Carter, for suggesting that album. It was really, they're a good band. So let's see. Yes. Will you review some 1-stars for Michael Jackson albums? That's probably not. Here's the weird thing about having a channel that is mostly Prince, is that anytime I do something that's not Prince, it either gets no attention or it gets like mostly negative attention. So I do try to steer clear. And if I'm going to do something like corny and like funny with that, I like to do those things with Prince in mind. I could probably get away with doing it for Michael Jackson because I did do a 1-star reviews for Prince already. Maybe I'll do one for Michael Jackson. I don't know. I'm going to put that on the maybe list, I guess. Hi. Hello to Denmark. Henkatten. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Thriller versus Purple Rain, better album. I think I'm done with the Michael Jackson stuff. I think I'm just done. Let's see. Now I have a question. Nope, that one's Michael and MJ. Let's see. Do you think Prince's Mad Cat Honer Telecaster is just as famous as he is? That's a guitar. Or I don't know all my like guitar styles yet. I'm still learning. I'll answer that one later once I know more about guitars. Do you like spiritually evolved Prince or nasty Prince better? I think that's a good question. I think I prefer spiritually evolved Prince. But even nasty Prince had spirituality in there. So I think you really can't go wrong. So that's my feeling about it. Has the estate ever contacted you regarding your content? That is a good question. No, not directly, at least. I got strikes and stuff and claims and all that stuff, but no, they have never contacted me directly. I don't think that, I think at this point, I'm just like that thing that's there. I have talked to a few people who know the siblings, know the family, are in touch with the estate, but I don't know if they're from the estate or whatever, but like they know I'm here. They watch what I'm doing. They see what I'm doing. Just because they don't, contact me directly doesn't mean that they ain't watching me. So, I mean, I'm just going to keep doing me. I don't ever, I don't mince words because somebody might be watching or whatever. But at the same time, I'm not, against the estate. So if the estate did contact me and was just like, hey, we want to talk to you about doing stuff, I'd be like, yeah, let's talk about it. I would love to work with the estate. I think that there's so much potential in being able to work with the estate than trying to fight against it. Yeah, that's my thought on it. So thank you for the question. Today is Here channel. That's an interesting name. Let's see. I see Jeremy M says Prince was about retaining his rights to his own music. Best advice for any musician. I would agree with that. I would also agree that that's the best advice for any artist who creates anything. So if you are a writer, retain the rights to your ideas and your IPs. If you are an artist, like drawings and stuff, make sure that, your name is on everything and that you own the rights to your stuff. I think it's important for anybody to be able to own their thing, even if you're not in the arts. You know, like if you start a small business, it could be a plumbing business. If you start that plumbing business and somebody says, we're going to come and buy your business and scoop it up, like, yeah, you could sell it to them. Or you could be like, no, this is mine. I built it up. I'm not going to sell it to you, you know, and I'm going to own it because I'm going to be the one that's going to make it big, you know. So that's, and it's kind of like a rebellious way of thinking, and Prince did that to me too. Prince did so many things to me in my life. I've done so many things and made so many decisions because, like, I'm like, well, Prince would never give that over, so I'm not gonna do it. Anyway, that's just me. Let me see. If Denise Vanity Matthews was still alive, would you have wanted to interview her? Yeah, I would have totally interviewed Vanity. But just like any other interview that I do, I would have wanted to interview Vanity for Vanity because she's a fascinating, person, and she had an interesting career. Probably most of my questions would be Last Dragon questions because I freaking loved her in that movie. I would totally interview her, and some of the questions would be about Prince, but I would make sure that the majority were about her and her career and her goals and stuff like that. I mean, to me, that's how you do an interview. It's mean to not do it that way. But yeah, I would totally interview her because she's fascinating. So yeah, there you go. Boo. Do you live in Minneapolis? I do not. That is a good question. I don't live in Minneapolis. Oh man, if I did. Oh man, you guys would be getting tons of content because I would just be like walking down the street with my phone, just recording stuff constantly. No, I don't live in Minneapolis. I really only get up there maybe twice, maybe 3 times a year at this point. But no, it's a fun city. But no, I don't live there. I'd like to live there, but it's way too damn cold up there. No, I changed my mind. I would not love to live there. I would love to live there for the music and to be closer to Paisley and, Prince's legacy and all that stuff. But I would not like to live there because it would be cold as frick. So there you go. Zoe Will, have you ever done something like top 10 best Prince lyrics? No, I haven't done Prince lyrics. Because again, it's one of those things like how do you frame like what makes one lyric better than another? Is it because of how clever it is? Is it the wordplay? Is it the emotion it stirs? Is it the context around it? So I mean, yeah, I think that best lyric generally is hard to do, which is why I have so many best party song, best sexy song, best love song. I have all these other ones because the lyrics obviously play into the listings there. So like, if they're really sexy lyrics, then they're probably going to end up on the sexy list. So there you go. Yeah, there you go. How do I think Prince would feel about his music from the vault being brought out by the Prince estate? Good question again. There is my video next week will answer that question. I actually have a lot of thoughts on that. So wait for that. Basically, I'm like, I don't think he would mind. I think that this was the plan, but also maybe not. Who knows? So that's just me. Let's see here. What's your favorite album from the Symbol years? Oh, that's an interesting question. Because he was only the Symbol from 1990. Was it 2 or 3? I think it was 1992 or possibly 3 to like the year 2000. I think was when he got his name back. Was in the year 2000. So if I was to say that, I mean, that's kind of a difficult one. Probably Emancipation, just because there's so much good music on there. So yeah, let's go with Emancipation. I'm gonna use that one. Yeah, let's use that. let's use that as my answer, just in case that's. I don't even know if that's a good answer, but let's use that one. Let's see here. There's still so much to. I'm trying to hit everybody, but I think I'm missing some people, and it should not be doing that. All right, I see here. So I see Carrie's. Hey, Carrie. I see Carrie's question here. It just jumped I'm pretty sure I jumped a ton of questions. Says, I hope that Sign of the Time is the next deluxe remaster. I believe it is Prince's magnum opus. Thoughts? I think it possibly was Prince's magnum opus, but I think that Artificial Age was Prince's real magnum opus, like the Plexum Electrum, Artificial Age. I said that during the conversation with Chris Lacey, but I think that that is going to end up going down as one of his greatest works. Sign of the Times was good. For me, I think it was an amazing effort at the time, but he has done so many things that have been way better than Sign of the Times, in my thought. And I know that's probably sacrilege to so many people. But yeah, for me, it was just yeah, I think it's good. And the problem here is that when Sign of the Times came out, I saw the movie first and I saw the live performances, and it was amazing and it was wonderful. And then I got the album because it wasn't available at my local record store. I had to special order it, and it took longer for that to get in. So I bought the VHS in the meantime. So while I was watching that, I was like, man, this is amazing. And then I got the album, and the studio versions of those songs just aren't as good. I wanted them to be, but they're just not as good, which made me, I think, appreciate the album itself much less. So, and it makes me feel bad to say that, because Sign of the Times is an amazing album. It really is. But it's not on my huge list like it is for so many others, though. So yeah. All right. So let's see here. Let's see what else we got. There's always stuff here. Do I listen to James Brown? That's a good question. I don't actually. I don't listen to a whole lot of old funk music. And the reason for that, I kind of mentioned it earlier, is that I didn't get into Prince because of the funk. I got into Prince because of the rock. And then I got into funk through Prince. So I was not already into funk and then got into Prince. It was more like I was already into rock and then got into Prince, and then it opened my eyes more to the funk. So slightly different, direction and trajectory that I got from my listening to Prince. But James Brown, I mean, I've listened to James Brown before. My mom listened to James Brown, and he's good. There was never anything that James Brown did that super spoke to me. But I think it could just be because I'm just a slightly different generation. So I had Prince is my James Brown. It's to me he is the thing. Even though, yeah, I realized that there were others that Prince got his own words. Words are failing me. That he was inspired by and whatnot. So I know that, Prince is not the thing for everybody, but for me, yeah, definitely. All right, so let's see here. What is the next question? Where are we here? By the way, I'm having a lot of fun with you guys. I'm having a ton of fun with you guys here doing Q&A. It's funny because I usually try to jump on here and do substantial discussions about topics and stuff, but it's fun to just jump on here and just be let's talk. It's fun to do that. How much is it to get into Paisley Park? They have some coupons and stuff right now that if you do it, you can get in for slightly cheaper. But a tour's I think 40, 30 or 40. Or you can get the super deluxe tour and it's 80 or 90 or something like that. Go to paisleypark.com. It has all the prices on there. And there's also different packages. There's some where you can see the soundstage. There's some where you can go into the studio and even record a little clip, and there's different ones. So, are you heavy into the B-sides? I do like the B-sides. I love a lot of Prince's B-sides, and it's fun when I get into a discussion with people about Prince's B-sides. So I do like those, though. Thank you, Christy, for that question. Could you do a video comparing Prince and James Brown? I could. I think I would have to do a lot more research on James Brown. If I was able to find somebody who is super knowledgeable in James Brown, I would more than likely just bring them here onto the channel and have a discussion with them about the differences between Prince and James Brown. Same thing I did. I brought Johnny from Prince Elvis Jackson on to talk about Elvis. I brought, I brought somebody else on to talk about, Michael Jackson. So, and, in my opinion, like if I am not 100%, like on Prince, I can talk pretty much anything. But I wouldn't dare try to go out there and represent James Brown, my gosh, without knowing exactly what I'm talking about. So that's my thought on it, at least. Carrie, I was just at Paisley Park for New Year's. It was crazy cold, but the event was hot. I know. Oh my gosh. And I was just on Shelby J's Instagram, and I was like, man, she was rocking that. Like her eye makeup was amazing at that show. Like I wish I was there just so I could have seen her in person and just given her a hug. Shelby's really awesome. Let me see. Are you going to do more videos on Prince's memoir? Yes, I have a couple of other topics that I want to talk about with Prince's memoir. As a matter of fact, thank you for asking that, because I've been working on like what the schedule is going to be for the first couple of months, and I did not put that on the list. So I need to add that to the list. So I appreciate you mentioning that, because now it is going to go on the list. So bam. Yeah. See, there's that thing. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let's see. Dirty Mind shouldn't be remastered. The whole point of the record is its rawness and grimy sound. This is for the person whom suggested remastering Dirty Mind. I think that basically we're going to get remasters of all of Prince's albums, eventually, but mostly we're going to get the ones that sold really well. And Dirty Mind was a breakthrough album for Prince, but didn't necessarily sell well. And the reason for that is because it was so different from the stuff that had come before, is that it turned off a lot of the audience because it was very different from his self-titled album. So yeah, I think it would be interesting to hear it remastered, because remastered doesn't mean that you can't still get that rawness and grimy. It could just be a rebalancing of the sounds, just so that it's clearer, and everything is just at the right levels, where Prince didn't really have that ability to do that at the time, because he didn't have Paisley yet. So that's my thought on it. So see, and that just brought up another video that I need to do. So I'm going to put that there as well. See, that's why I like doing these. You guys are reminding me of stuff. How many times have you been to Paisley Park? I believe at this point I've been to Paisley 3 times. Yeah, I've been to Paisley 3 times. I went twice as part of Celebration, both times. And then I went one for the Moody Man concert that I went at the tail end of 2018. So yeah, each time I go, it is a completely different experience, and I enjoy it so much. Let's see. Charles Thomas. Prince said on Arsenio that his music would be released, but not by him. He knew that he had so much left in his vault for the future. Exactly. Hello, Prince's friend from Tampa. Charles, if you're in Tampa, dude, hit me up. I'm also in Tampa. Hit me up. We'll have to hang. All right. Pinterest suspended me for pinning something that someone shared widely on social media as their artwork. That sucks, I guess. All right, cool. Are you active on Pinterest somewhat? I am not. I was starting to try to use Pinterest as like a way to do marketing, see if I could use it for marketing purposes. It did not get me anything, so I shifted to others. So now I do Instagram and I do Facebook and I do Twitter, and I tried Pinterest, but it didn't do anything, so I stopped. So there you go. Let's see. Have you been to Paisley Park? Yes, I just answered that one. Prince's friend doesn't love 80s Prince. You should feel bad. I think that you're misinterpreting my statements. I love Prince in general. The question was, do I prefer that 80s Prince to the later Prince? And the answer would be no. I prefer the later Prince. So let me see. I don't think people appreciated Love Sexy either. You would be correct. You would be correct, Corey. Good job. Good job on that one. Let's let me see. What is the rarest Prince item you own? That's a good question. The rarest one that I own was actually a present that I received from Stone, and I did a whole video doing an unboxing, and it was the Musicology like velvet purple box from the Musicology tour, and it was like sold. It was only given to like people who went to the concert in Hawaii and like all that stuff, and he gave that to me so I could do an unboxing here on the video, and it was amazing. And go check that one out. I think it's in the playlist of the having fun playlist that I have. That's where all my unboxings go, where it's just like we're just having fun and playing games. So go there, because that's a really great video. And I had braids at the time when I did that video, so you can see like what my braids and stuff look like. I rocked those braids for like a good week, and then but the braids were too tight. My head started to break out, and it was not pretty. So I got them out pretty quickly, but I have a few videos here on the channel where I had some braids. This is a good question. Do you think getting into Prince causes you to be more musically diverse and see the world differently? Is that one of your favorite aspects about Prince? I would say yes. I would say yes. It definitely, what Prince does is he makes it so that you can kind of listen to what he says, and you can look at the world through his eyes. And looking at the world through his eyes is an amazing thing. He takes you on a journey, and you are able to kind of leave your own body in like a physical and a metaphysical sense. It's just so weird. But I would definitely say yes. I think also it's gotten me into other things. I've been able to appreciate a lot more jazz because of Prince. I've been able to appreciate a lot more funk because of Prince. And it also taught me kind of like what it means to be a real musician, and is, you know, one of the reasons why I'm now pursuing music. You know, it's that sort of thing. It's like he inspires people to be their best selves, and that's why I love Prince. So yeah. What album is it where Prince tells a listener how to adjust the tone and bass? I don't know which album that is. I'm not really sure. Maybe I need a lyric or something, and then I can maybe spot it. But I don't think I know it from that reference. Let's see. Oh, see, it jumped. I love it. I love YouTube and their algorithms, and the fact that it makes it hard for me to do stuff. So let's see. I feel that if you don't list Purple Rain at your top list album or song, people look at you strange. Yeah, and people look at me strange all the time because it's not. Like I said, I think for me, it's Artificial Age, probably number one. Musicology, possibly number two. It's nah. None of the '80s albums. I mean, I think besides Love Sexy, I think Love Sexy is probably in my top 5. Maybe it's number 4. Not really sure. But yeah, yeah, because for me, Prince always got better and better as he went along. It's hard for me to say like his first album was his best. It's just like, you know what? You don't do something for 35 years and you don't get better. It's just like I don't see that ever happening to anything. So yeah, you should get better. If you are not better after doing something for 30 years, then there's something wrong with you. So yeah, that's my thought on it. Let me see. Do you see that blonde psychic on YouTube who claims that she spoke to Prince's spirit? And what do you think about that sort of thing? I wouldn't say that it's impossible. I have psychics that I know, and you know they're usually pretty on point. But I mean, it's a thing. You know, psychics are a thing or not a thing. You know, depending upon what you believe. But it's I don't think. I mean, as long as the person who's doing it is not doing it to swindle people and whatnot, then I think it's fine. I guess. I've actually talked to a couple of people who say that they speak to Prince's spirit, and it's always like super positive, and it's always like, Prince is watching and knows what's happening, and it's the truth will come out, and there's going to be great stuff ahead of you. Here's ways that you can improve yourself, because again, I mean, because that's the thing, right? If somebody came to me and said, I can speak to Prince's spirit, and he says, give me the money, or, and he says, there's going to be a thing where you can, there's going to be a light to this. It's just like, no. But if he's like, Prince says, you should do more of this because it's helping his legacy and it's helping people and it's amazing, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds good. I like that. That makes me feel good. Whether or not, I mean, who knows if it's true or not? There's no way to really know until we get Ghostbuster level technology. So yeah, so there you go. But I haven't seen that blonde lady, quote unquote. I haven't seen her, I don't think, specifically. But it's cool because I mostly just avoid those kind of channels and whatnot. There's only one that I subscribe to, and it's because she's pretty awesome. So, but otherwise, I don't really follow those. Does anyone have the Camille songs but not high pitched? Yes, I do. If you look at my video that I talked about, we don't need a Camille album. If you watch that one, I played a little bit of them, so you can hear what they sound like not pitched. But yeah, I mean they sound like Prince. It's not that big, but it sounds like he's forcing his voice to be slightly deeper than he would normally sing it, so that he can pitch it up, and then it's good, and then it's at the Camille level. So to get to Camille Prince, he had to actually sing lower and then pitch it up. It wasn't his regular voice pitched up; it was a lower register pitched up. So there you go. Hey, Lolly, I didn't even notice that you were here. Lolly is the medium who can speak to Prince's spirit that I actually do speak to. So there you go. Is the 3121 movie an actual thing? How long is it? Is it something that could be released? I have heard that it is a thing, but I have never seen it or know how long it is or anything like that. So I have no clue. I have no clue. I want to see that. It would be amazing to see it. Let's see. Let's see where we're at here. I just want to point out too, guys, that we were at one point at 103 people. I think that's a lot of people that we had in here. I think right now we're at 96, but we had 103 at one point. So apparently you guys also had open Friday nights, just like me. My Friday night is literally open because my wife took my youngest son to go see a dinosaur show. So he went out with her, and I have an evening to myself. And I said, well, if I have an evening to myself, I'm going to spend it with my friends. Because I love you guys. So anyway, let's see. 3121. I've heard a few different people say that 3121 means different things. Okay. That's a good question. Inap Jr. Inap Jr. 76. 3121 adds up to 7. A lot of people say that it's, spiritual, whatnot. However, we have somebody who is, we do have somebody who comes and comments on the videos a lot, who says that she was with Prince around that time, and that 3121 was actually the last 4 digits of their phone number. So that is what they said. I've heard the 7 theory. I've always thought that it was kind of like 1999, where Prince was like, well, I wrote a song called 1999, and then it got super huge around that time. So let me do one called 3121, so that in the year 3121, that's when people are going to start bumping my music again. Like, I was thinking like he was going long game with it. So, so yeah, so that's my thought on it. We'll have to see we'll have to see in 3121 when we're all back with our like 5th or 6th souls. We'll see if that is a correct statement. So, let's see. 1999 and Controversy are the best 80s albums, along with Lovesexy. That's cool. The Paper Kids. That's cool that you think those are the best 80s albums. I mean, as much flack as I give Purple Rain because it's overhyped and it's overrated and overplayed, it still is an amazing album. Like, I would probably still put Purple Rain towards the top of his 80s albums, just because, like, and that's me taking out the hype and the movie associated with it and all that stuff. But like, just musically, that album is just so well constructed. So take that for what you will. Adore Cream, hey, how you doing? I see that you're here. Let's see. Oh, so Eddie Arjun said it's the address that he lived at. And yes, it was, but he bought that house after the album, not before. So I believe that house had the 3121 because he made it have that, but that was after the fact, as far as I know. As far as I know. And I could be wrong. I'd have to look that up again. But oh my God, 3121, amazing. 3121 is really, really great. So yeah, so there's that. And then where are we here? Do you think that the Black Album would have been well received if Prince had released it instead of Lovesexy? I think so. I think it would have, because I think it was at that time where he was looking to appeal back to the Black Album again. I think it would have appealed really well, because I think that's exactly what its purpose was. We did a whole thing. Me and Chris, we did a Lovesexy Black Album. Go back and check out those videos, because we talk a lot about why it was released, why it was pulled back, why it was re-released, why it was then pulled back again, why it's still hard to get even today. So there's a bunch of stuff. Neil Child says, hi, Sign of the Times is Prince's best 80s album. Okay, Neil. I would still personally say that it's Lovesexy. But again, like, we all have different ears. It's cool. Like, I think mine would probably go Lovesexy. Maybe Purple Rain under Lovesexy, because again, I still think that it is just an amazingly well-constructed album. Then after that, that's a tough one. Probably 1999 after that. Then maybe Batman as number 4. And then what would be number 5? And then Around the World is a Day as number 5. All right. I don't even remember the order I just said, so hopefully that sounded right. So there you go. But those would be like my 5, I think, because it's just I really, really like Sign of the Times, but I feel like almost Sign of the Times is overrated. And a whole lot of people say like Purple Rain is overrated, and I almost feel Sign of the Times is overrated. So I don't know. It's just weird. And thank you, Neil. I did see that. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And the fact that we just launched, the channel memberships, you can hit the join button, right underneath the, you can hit the join button right underneath the video. And we now have YouTube channel memberships. If you are already a patron, you don't have to also be a YouTube member, because the patron and the YouTube members are going to get basically the same thing. But if you want to, do the YouTube membership and support the channel, and it makes you, it keeps it all native here, then, you can go with that route instead. Because like I said, I know that there were some people who had an issue with some of the interface of the Patreon site. So that's cool. You don't have to be on Patreon, but there's some stuff over here that I'm going to be posting over here too. So, definitely check that stuff out. So anyway, yeah, Lolly says Sign of Times is amazing. A lot of people love Sign of Times. I have no problem with Sign of Times. It has a lot of my favorite songs on it. I love Ballad of Dorothy Parker. I love Adore. I love Starfish and Coffee. I love If I Was Your Girlfriend. So many amazing songs on that album. But I think as an album, like as an experience, it doesn't necessarily meet the standards of some of the other albums, in my opinion. And everybody has their own opinion. See, like Adore Cream just posted his own top 10 80s albums. But that's the thing, is that I don't necessarily always even think of Prince just within the framework of the 80s. Like, so asking me what like my favorite 80s albums is that's why it was so tough for me to come up with that. Because I'm like, yeah, but like, there were so many other better things that came out after. Like, well, I want to throw the Gold Experience on here. I want to throw Musicology on here. I want to throw Slaughterhouse on there. I want to throw 3121 on there. I want to throw Planet Earth on there. So many amazing albums, but like putting them in an 80s box is just like, I don't know, it doesn't do Prince any good. It doesn't do Prince's legacy any good. But yeah, I love Sign of the Times. So there you go. So yeah, there you go. My number one favorite Prince song to party to is DMSR. I think that ended up being my number one on my top 10 party list. Now I have to go back and check that out. That's hard to do. Hit and Run, phase 1 or phase 2, which one do you like better? I think that's a tough one. I think I listened to 1 more than 2, but then 2's been growing on me lately. So I think I probably would say 2, but it's not because I didn't like 1, because I listened the hell out of 1. So I'm going to say I like phase 1 and phase 2 equally, for completely different reasons too, because I really think that phase 1 did a really good job kind of capitalizing on a lot of the more modern production, again, because Joshua Welton did that one, as he produced that album. So it definitely, like, it was a really good album, and it felt so not Prince and then also so Prince at the same time. Whereas with phase 2, it was Prince. Also with phase 2, which I really loved, was that there were only a couple of new songs on phase 2. For the most part, Hit and Run phase 2 was him grabbing old tracks that had been sitting in the vault and him reworking them into new songs. So that's where phase 2 shines for me, because you get the Prince effect on those songs, which is something we're going to miss going forward. That's going to have to be another video. I'm going to have to talk about that going forward. So anyway, excuse me. God, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. I'm like coughing in your guys' ears. So anyway, I think I am going to call it here, because right now we're about to hit an hour and a half for this live stream. So I'm going to call it there. And I just want to say, first off, I love all of you for showing up and hanging out with me on a Friday night. This is definitely my idea of a good time. So it's really nice that you guys are here and you are spending time with me and having an amazing time, asking great questions, having fun conversations. Thank you so much for being here. I love it. It's great. So what I'll say is, I had a couple of questions about where can you find me on social media in the thing. Definitely go to, it's at Princess Friend YT. That's on Instagram. That's on Twitter. That's on Facebook. Just type in Princess Friend YT, YT for YouTube. Because on all of those platforms, Princess Friend was already something that was taken. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll just throw YT on it since I'm a YouTube channel. So there's that. Definitely check out the Patreon. That's at patreon.com/princessfriend. Or you can hit the join button right below this video and you can become a YouTube member. They amount to the same thing. So you just do one or the other, don't do both. But I like having both as an option. So I would say definitely, if you want one or the other, definitely do that. If you also look below the video, there are right now t-shirts and stickers of the little drawing of me thinking from the Emancipation review. I do plan on having more things on there. So you'll be getting a lot more things for sale under there. I'm working on some different shirt designs that won't be infringing on any copyrights and they won't fight with me about it. So hopefully I'll be able to get some other stuff there. Should be pretty nice. Otherwise, it's an amazing time for me to be here with all of you. And it just makes me so happy that, you all are here sharing in the love of Prince, but also just love, as Prince always said, love for one another. So just keep that with you. Keep this positivity, keep this love, keep this all together and bring it with you into tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Don't leave it here. Don't just be here and be positive and loving. Take it with you. And it's going to be so wonderful when all of us can do that. And if I can just say that all the 87 people who are still with me and hearing me say this can do that, that's going to make, it's going to be like the you tell two friends and a you two will tell two friends and so on and so on. And it's just going to grow. It's going to grow so big. It's going to grow so big. And we're going to keep bringing the positivity to the world. We're going to do that. That's going to be the amazing thing that we do in Prince's name. So anyway, I love all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in this live stream. May you live to see the dawn, and I'll check you guys later. I'm going to hit stop now. Bye, guys.